You are Locked On Eagles Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
That's right. It is the Locked On Eagles Postcast. It's Harry Mayes, Jason Myrtetus. We'll react to the Eagles' loss against the Commanders, something that hasn't happened in a long time. Go through the game, the effect of the Jalen Hurts concussion. And this episode is brought to you, of course, by FanDuel. It's a big season with the big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. So do yourself a favor, visit FanDuel.com to get started. Well, Harry, this is something we haven't done since September 29th was the last Eagles loss.
Is that right?
That is incredible.
Wow.
But that is where we are right now, and this is a loss and a failure to capture the division today, but Commanders threw everything at them, a depleted Eagles team.
Yeah, they really did. I mean, it's just such a weird game. I mean, starting with, losing Jalen Hurts, and he's trying to stay in the game. Then he's trying to come back in the game. He had his helmet on, and then all of a sudden you get a report from Pam Oliver that he's headed to the locker room. And then we never saw him again, and he was obviously ruled out with a concussion symptoms, I guess, and he'll probably be back, good to go by the playoffs. I don't even know if they're really going to need him next week to beat the Giants. But when you win the turnover margin by 4 in an NFL game,
how many?
You don't lose. I mean, that hardly ever happens. It was just a bizarre game. I thought Pickett played okay for being shoved in there like that. I know he had the one interception early where he clearly just didn't see the defender drift into that zone there. But I thought, you're never thinking you're coming into this game because, Hurts gets banged around, but he's pretty darn durable. Yeah. And all of a sudden you're thrust in there. And I know you got Saquon Barkley, but Washington did a really good job on him after the first quarter. Like, he really didn't – he had the big breakaway run for the touchdown. And then after that, he was really never heard from, and he was hit. Now, I know the broadcast pointed it out to their credit that he was hit behind the line of scrimmage a lot from quarters 2 through 4. So Washington did a really good job ganging up on him. And it's basically A.J. Brown getting, a pass interference called on whoever's trying to
Lattimore
desperately hang on to him and guard him. Nobody could do it. I mean, Lattimore couldn't cover him without grabbing him. And I think that one drive, there was 2 back-to-backs, and I think he had 3 in the game, didn't he? Lattimore on Brown.
Yeah.
And then he finally got hurt.
2 back-to-backs and one a little bit later.
Yeah, and that whole drive, that was a bizarro drive where it went 14 plays. They held the ball for 8 minutes, which is a recurring theme with this team, regardless of who's plays quarterback. They just suffocate and just keep the ball. And they only moved it 36 yards, and it ended with an Elliott field goal.
I almost look at that and go, how the hell did you do that?
It's almost impossible.
Like, how do you maintain possession for 8 minutes and only have the drive go 36? It doesn't add up mathematically to me.
I know, it's bizarro, but that gave them a 27-14 lead, and you're thinking, all right, here we go. They're going to win this game.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, before you know it, Zacchaeus makes the big catch, and it's 27-21, and then he makes another one where they had too many men on the field. Yeah. And it was just a bizarro play. It was almost like the Eagles kind of quit on the play in a weird way. And it's 28-27. You're like, oh, my God, they're going to lose.
Yeah, well, the second one is the case. Slay doesn't get off the field. Nobody knows what coverage they're in. So they look totally disheveled.
Total breakdown. Yeah, total breakdown.
And it sticks out even more watching this Eagles team because we don't see that in second halves this year.
No.
Was what? What is going on here? They look disorganized.
And then they converted a couple of 4th downs. You had 4th and 1 at their own 42. He gets it to Devontae Smith for a catch for the first down. And then 4th and 7 at midfield, and he goes for it. And wouldn't you know it, A.J. Brown makes the catch in front of St. Just, missed the tackle there, but actually should have got him behind the line. But he ends up getting that first down, and then Elliott kicks the 50-yard field goal. And that was one good sign this week is Elliott looks like he's getting it back.
Yeah, he missed one earlier in the game, but, I mean, that was a big pressure kick, the 50-yarder.
Yeah.
At that time. This game is one of those football games that just defies all the rules of logic.
Yeah, it really does.
Turnover battle, You look like Barkley. I mean, you look at his final numbers: 29 rushes, $150. I feel like it was two different games.
It was.
Crazy.
It almost took like 2 games. This game seemed to take forever.
Yeah.
Because so much happened. I mean, there was basically every play was either some sort of crazy play or a turnover or a penalty.
Yeah.
I mean, there were so many penalties. Washington couldn't get off the field. They had so many back-breaking penalties on 3rd down where they actually held the line, and then the Eagles got the first down by the result of the penalty. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And you're +4 in the turnover margin. Your backup quarterback's in. He's playing okay, and you lose the game anyway.
And you win the time of possession by over 13 minutes.
What did they end up with?
36-18 to 23-42, so just under 13.
Wow.
I mean, that's a big margin.
It is.
And you end up losing the game. It's crazy. Yeah. Washington hung 368 total yards on the Eagles. That's got to be the highest they've given up all year. Yeah, it really is. And then when you get the tipped ball to Blankenship late in the game, you're thinking, all right, here we got this. Yeah.
And they end up kicking another field goal, a 40-yarder that just snuck inside the upright. I thought he was going to push it. I thought it was going to miss.
Me too.
But it stayed
the
inside
snap was
the
not
upright.
Great, Harry.
No, it wasn't.
The snap was a little off there, too, but he bared down on it.
I'll tell you, man. Just a nuts game. Now the problem is, though, because Detroit won today, so they got their 13th win of the season now.
Yep.
So this looks like the home field throughout could be out of reach here. So that's one
going
big
through
problem.
The Pontiac Silverdome, Harry?
Well, yeah, it looks like everything will go through Detroit. Now, it's amazing that they keep winning because they have so many injuries on the defensive side of the ball. You really got to give them credit. I know Chicago's no good, but it's a division game, and they just went in there and took it to them today. What was the final on that one? Let's see. They were scored in the 30s. It was –
here we go.
I hate what you do.
34-17.
Okay,
yeah.
34-17 Detroit.
So, I mean, they can hang points on teams. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, they really can.
And maybe that's the thing. My biggest takeaway from this Eagles-Redskins game is that the Commanders, they scored 36 on the Eagles' defense.
Yeah.
Today was not their – they didn't seem as prepared as they normally do. I'm not going to sit there and go nuts on the coaches or anything like that because winning 11 straight is difficult. And beating a division team that you're battling with twice is difficult.
Who has some talent. I mean, Washington's got some decent players. Their quarterback, I mean, he can make some crazy plays, but, man, he can make plays.
Yeah.
He makes plays with his legs.
He's going to be good when he becomes more refined. You can see the ability is absolutely there. What was the stat they rolled out about since 2012? Oh, they haven't had 10 wins since 2012 with RG3's rookie year.
That's correct.
That is insane to me.
Yeah, it is.
That is almost hard to do.
It really is.
But, I mean, look, overall, all right, let's get into Kenny Pickett. Not Wilson Pickett. But so what'd you think of Pickett? They make the move to get him, first-round pick a couple of years ago. Insurance policy. As you mentioned, Hurts isn't a guy that misses games a whole heck of a lot or misses time.
Yeah.
But you brought up right away, why was he even trying to get back into the game if he was in concussion protocol?
Yeah,
that's what I don't understand.
I didn't really understand that at all.
Would they take the helmet?
Yeah, well, that's what they're supposed to do. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what the timing of everything was, but as far as Pickett, I thought it was kind of a strange pickup when they made the pickup of him because he doesn't really have similar skill sets to what like a Jalen Hurts does. So to me, it's like he can't do a lot of the things Jalen Hurts can do. Doesn't necessarily
run a different offense.
Exactly. That's what it sort of looked like to me. But I thought in a weird spot here today, I thought he did a decent job, really. And he got hurt there towards the end. You could tell when he got tackled, that helmet kind of got into his rib cage. I think he was a little sore in the rib. You saw the third stringer warming up. How about that? Where are you? Did you freeze up on me again?
You
froze up on me again.
There we are. I'm back now.
Oh, jeez.
I did, but
who
were
is on
who
is on the internet at your house while you're doing this show?
Oh, this internet.
I'm telling you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, that'd be a good time to take a break, and you can tell everybody about Prize Picks since you're not
very good.
If you're hearing me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Well, Jason, I got to tell everybody about Prize Picks, even though we didn't go to the commercial break the way we normally do, because Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going to go off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. It's the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Now, unlike other apps, on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct selections. Prize Picks puts their members first. Withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Prize Picks invented the flex play, too, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Now, Prize Picks also offers a weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code LOCKEDONNFL and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's the code LOCKEDONNFL on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus because it's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, now I guess we lost Jason there. He's probably trying to log in, log out, and log back in. Usually that tends to clear up his internet. But yeah, he was talking about Kenny Pickett. And if you look at the box score here, Pickett was 14 of 24 for 143 yards, 6 yards per attempt. He had 1 touchdown and he had 1 early interception. Sacked 3 times, had a rating of 72. I mean, I can't really expect too much more out of him. I mean, obviously he knows where to go with the football when they need a first down, because he goes and he tries to find A.J. Brown, who nobody can seem to cover. But I was talking about Pickett.
Okay.
And just what he did in the game. And, basically on every third down, he knew he's trying to find A.J. Brown because, man, nobody can cover him.
He's an animal.
You think about this Eagles team here, Jason, heading into the playoffs. They have a play that nobody can stop in the tush push.
Yep.
Which basically extends drives. If you're, I thought Olsen did a really good job of explaining it. He said it's almost like the Eagles are 1st and 8 instead of 1st and 10, because if they get the ball anywhere between 4th and 1 or 4th and 2, they're going for it. They're going to run the tush push, and 9 times out of 10 they're going to make it, and they're going to extend drives. That's a really key element to their offense,
because now your play calling is different. You don't have to go 10 yards to get every first down because you have this silver bullet.
Yeah,
it's good. It's a great point.
Yeah,
let's take our first time out so you can tell everybody about Prize Picks.
I did it already.
Oh, you did it? Okay, good job.
I did it already.
There you go, Har.
Jesus. But I mean, they've got Saquon Barkley, who can make a house call from any point on the field at any point in time. They've got a wide receiver that nobody can seem to cover because he's so big and physical. You basically have to mug him and get, risk getting a penalty thrown on you in order to stop him. And then they have a play that nobody can stop.
Yeah.
And outside of today, they have a defense.
And usually they have a quarterback that's very durable, but today, look, it's not like it's some kind of like knee injury where you worry about that going forward. What'd you think of even the play where he got hurt? It didn't seem like – it wasn't one like we saw Tua earlier this season. You saw some of the concussions we've seen. Yeah. So I don't think it's like a lagging concern.
No, I mean, you never want to see anybody get a concussion, especially where they have to leave the game. But it looked like his head hit the turf pretty hard. I mean, I don't think it was anything that a Washington player did. It wasn't any helmet-to-helmet situation. It just looked like he kind of went down head first into the turf. And, credit the referees, for seeing it. Because, that ref looked right in his eye, and he knew he wasn't right. And he's like, you got to go.
When we tried to hand him the ball, he seemed a little off.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, we hope he's back next week. But like you said, I think they could beat the Giants with you or I back there as the quarterback.
Well, the Giants lost to a first-time starting quarterback today with Atlanta. They started Penix Jr. Because they're now going to try to walk away from Kirk Cousins and his big contract.
34-7 they got
34-7. I mean, there's no doubt about it. They've packed up shop weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. That franchise has been absolutely hideous.
Oh, they're terrible.
I mean, how can their fans and their people that work for that team see what Saquon Barkley's doing here?
Oh man,
and even pick their head up off a pillow in the morning.
I know.
You
think about the New York football fan. Think about what they have to watch every Sunday between the Jets and the Giants. I mean, you're counting down the season to spring training as soon as week 3 comes in the NFL because the season's over.
Yeah, because you got Juan Soto, an overweight Juan Soto.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean that's just brutal. Like you count down all year for football, and both teams in that market suck out loud.
Yeah, they really did.
And they're a mess.
They are a mess, from top down. But anyway, like with Hurts out of the game, you notice that Sirianni. I know he went forward on a couple fourth downs, but they don't run the tush push without Hurts.
No, you can't. He's the power element.
Right. They had a 4th and 1, and they threw the football.
I was stunned when that happened. They dropped back.
Yeah,
that's the Devontae Smith one, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I was I'm going, wow, they're not going to go with you just use their offensive line and even just run a power run.
Yeah.
They actually opted to drop Kenny Pickett back and throw the ball. I couldn't believe it. He made a nice throw on that, too.
Yeah, he really did. But how about the way this game started out? First of all, you had Washington getting great field position in the game. And because of the kickoff, they have that it didn't land in the kicking zone,
Yeah, whatever the hell that is.
So they get the ball at the 40, and they got nothing out of it. The Eagles get the turnover. Jalen Carter with a forced fumble. Nolan Smith recovered the fumble. And the next thing you know, it's 14-0 Eagles.
Yeah,
and
you're like, that fourth down stop at midfield.
Right. They're going to cruise to a win, right?
Yep.
And who would thought they'd end up losing this football game? What was it, 36-33? Because they made the two-pointer. Yeah, they made the two-pointer at the end. Unbelievable.
There were several points in watching this marathon, mind you, of a game.
Mm-hmm.
That I was like, okay, no, this is going to be, it's done.
It's over.
It's over. The Eagles are going to win the game. I thought it early. Then I was like, oh, okay, they're coming back a little bit. Then you thought it again, like kind of just slightly past the midpoint and then towards the end. And then somehow it does bring back a little bit. Let's go back to Atlanta of how they lose against Atlanta. Like Barkley drops that pass, right?
Right, yeah.
That he's got, and he just can't get it to the ground. And then I forget who was kind of shook it all the way loose. He doesn't make that catch. Devontae Smith bobbles
that drop was unbelievable,
That's a
man.
huge drop.
Because he had real estate in front of him. He could have kept running. He might have scored.
And that was a third down.
It was a third down. Yeah.
So
unbelievable drop there.
Either of those catches happen, and you probably waltz to a win.
Mm-hmm.
They found a way to lose this game, and like I really don't know how to feel about it after they just rattled off what they rattled off, and this is the first loss since September 29th.
Yeah,
like I don't think it's anything to freak out about.
No, especially since he didn't have a quarterback. Well, it is for home field.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
that's really the big picture that matters here, isn't it?
Yeah, you'd love to have it. I mean, let's see, because I know Detroit plays Minnesota on the final week of the season, which that game is going to mean. Minnesota's playing right now, and I think they're tied with Seattle, 7-7 in the second quarter. But they play Detroit on the final week of the season. And let me get. I want to see. I think Detroit plays San Francisco next week.
Yeah,
there's another team that's all banged up. They're all banged up too.
Yeah, they're running out the string there for the most part. They're in San Francisco, though.
In San Fran.
That's a difference? I don't know.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, that's
the Monday night game.
It's not going to be an easy game.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Then the Viking game is who they wrap with. That's a flex game coming up in the new year. So, I mean, look, they could trip up on one of them, but who has the tiebreaker, too? Because the Eagles now lost a division game and a conference game today.
Well, the Eagles have more conference losses than Detroit.
Then Detroit wins any tiebreaker.
Correct.
So that's part of it too that matters.
Yeah, because one of Detroit's losses, one of their two losses was to Buffalo. The other loss was to Tampa Bay, and that's a common opponent loss. Tampa beat both Philadelphia and Detroit.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That just seems odd.
Isn't that crazy?
That is.
And that's
wild.
another team that had a lot of injury. They lost all their wide receivers early in the year, and you got to really credit what they've done. They've stayed in it. I mean, they're going to win that division. The division's terrible, but they're actually a team that I really wouldn't want to go play.
How about this clown? Eagles trash. Dude, this is the first time they lost since September 29th, you ingrate. I mean,
wait, somebody's calling him trash?
Well, yeah, the guy posted, if you see it on the screen there, Eagles trash. Dude, like, shut up. Like, you're an absolute moron. Like, this is what you're going to hear on sports radio this week. Have fun.
Oh, man.
Yeah, fire the goat.
It'll give him something to talk about, I can tell you that.
Yeah. It'll give me something to not listen about, though, Harry.
Yeah, but it is really almost unheard of that you win a turnover margin by 4 in the NFL and don't win the game. That is bizarro.
All right, let's take our last time out. Back after this. All right, let me tell you about the big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. You get a hunch in the middle of the game. I would have lost my pants today if I had FanDuel, by the way, because I had a lot of hunches. They were all wrong. So I'm glad I didn't jump in today, and that's a good thing. Saved my bacon. But if you got a hunch in the middle of the game, you jump on FanDuel.com. You check the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and much more on the same page where you place your bets. So you don't miss any of the action. That's the great part about it. So you get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Now, if you think it's a team, your team, whatever. You got momentum. Maybe you think the momentum's there. Maybe it shouldn't be your team. You should be have no emotional tie to the game. Do you think they got momentum? They're going to score? Well, you can live bet it as you watch it. FanDuel has made it super easy so you don't miss any of the action. And with FanDuel, it's not just straight bets and parlays. No, it's live in-game betting. You name it, you can bet it. Visit FanDuel.com and you can see all of the odds and opportunities to get in on the action while you watch the action. It can't be better than that. That's FanDuel.com. Visit FanDuel.com, and you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. So check it out now. Visit FanDuel.com. All righty. Eagles fall for the first time in weeks. This guy messages in, the refs cheated. Sigma Skin.
I saw that.
Eagles got cheated. Now on the game-winning touchdown pass,
the right tackle looked like he moved, right?
He didn't look like Harry.
Yeah. Well,
he moved. A lot of guys do it.
All I can say is Lane Johnson does this multiple times every week, and they never call it. So
it's amazing they don't.
I know it is. And Lane Johnson's not the only guy that does it. I see it in practically every game I watch.
You know who did it a ton? Jason Peters.
Yes.
He would always time it, and maybe it's the really good guys that are timing it perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy left early today. Lane Johnson leaves early quite often.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to blame the refs. I mean, some of the calls in the game, like Lattimore got called. The second one, he clearly pulled A.J. Brown's jersey a little bit.
Yeah.
When he got 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right. I mean, by the letter, that's probably pass interference.
Yeah, it was. But the first one, A.J. Brown had his jersey. Did you see he had his hand inside the collar of his jersey?
Yep.
Sometimes you just got to let him fight. You don't have to throw the flag all the time.
Yeah, let them battle it out. If two guys are out there being physical, then and hands in each other, what's the problem with that?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, what I got to ask you this, because this is something that bothers me. This is something that would bother Mikey Miss. This sounds like a Mikey Miss deal.
Hey, I'm Martinez.
Dan Quinn is the head coach of an NFL football team.
You're going.
Okay, and he wears his hat backwards. Okay, he looks like a strap. Okay,
yeah. He is a strap.
You're not a position coach anymore. You're not the linebackers coach who can get away with that. Okay, you're the head coach. There's only 32 of them in the world. Put your hat on properly, or don't wear one at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, did you notice he did go from the backwards ball cap, Harry, and he's got like the hole in it because it's got an adjustable fit, and he went to the toque. He went to the cap because it was too cold on him. I'm like, oh, geez, if you're going to go backwards hat, you got to go whole game backwards hat.
The toque's okay. I mean, Sirianni wears the toque.
Yes, Belichick always wore it.
Oh yeah, he wore a sloppy one. It was all like droopy and
like Mike would have had a problem with Belichick too because he would cut his sweatshirt.
Yeah,
cut.
He looked like a shamad.
Yeah, with like a rusty razor, he's cutting the sweatshirt, right? That's the way he was, though.
Yeah, but these guys have access to all this gear for free. Every week they can wear something different, and he's wearing a stupid hat backwards.
He's trying to be get his players to identify with him.
Yeah, he's
trying to be cool.
He's looking like he's the defensive coordinator up in the box with a dip cup. They all wear their hats backwards, okay? Because they used to be right next to the broadcast booth. We could see them right through the glass.
Yeah.
They all have their hats on backwards, all spitting into a cup. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's only a couple coaches that can like pull that off.
Yeah.
He's a pretty big dude. Like he looks like a tough guy.
Quinn. He's a big guy. Yeah.
Like Sirianni does that, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm gone, There's a few other guys, guys that like Bill Parcells could have never pulled off a backwards ball cap. You'd be like, dude, you look like a douche.
No, he never wore a cap.
No.
Parcells.
No.
Yeah.
He always had like the sweatshirt on with the logo, like the Giants going across it, or he was a sweater guy.
Right.
But the days are long gone of like Tom Landry and the suit and the hat and the whole thing.
Yeah.
These guys are all dressed like strappers now.
Well, yeah. Lombardi used to wear their suit and tie too.
Yeah, Hank Stram.
With the big trench coat. Yeah, Stram too. Right.
Yeah, I mean, they all look. I think in all sports that's changing.
Oh yeah.
Like you don't have to be like the super dressed up. Like we're not going to church.
Right.
We're not visiting the Vatican here. Like it's the temple. But like let's stop acting like we got to be all dressed up to coach a football game. I don't mind it. It would bother Mikey Miss though.
Oh, totally.
That's
totally.
further degradation of society.
I wrote it down, and I'm like, this is something that would bother Mike.
Oh, you should have taken a picture and sent it to him.
I should have.
Because it would bother him.
Yeah.
What's he doing with the hat on back?
Yeah. Yeah, Martinez.
Yeah. And I'd be like, I don't have a problem with you. Hey, see, you're part of the problem.
Yeah, you're part of the you always are. You always were part of the problem.
Harry, let me tell you, I'm still part of the problem.
Exactly.
All right? Let's be really fair about it. You think next week that they bring Hurts back, or do they go with Pickett no matter what?
I mean, he might still be in protocol. If he is, you can't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So it's kind of out of their hands. I'm trying to look here what the final tally was on the penalties. Boy, 10 accepted penalties for the Eagles for 91 yards. Boy, it seemed like more for Washington. They had 6 penalties for 93 yards.
They were huge penalties.
But they had the big pass interference penalties, which were a lot of yards.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The non-penalty, though, ended up being a big one when they got the unnecessary roughness, the hit when Pickett slid, but he actually did not hit him at first. As soon as you saw it, oh, that's a penalty.
Yeah, he went right over him.
Slow. He went over him.
He went right over him. They actually won the turnover battle by only 3.
Well, that's just because they fumbled
at the end of the game.
Yeah,
at the end of the game.
Yeah, so it's really 4 of
36 minutes of possession. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy game.
Really nuts.
Yeah. So we'll see where it goes next week. What time is the game next week, Harry? Is it a 1 o'clock?
I think it's a 1 o'clocker. I hope it is.
It better be. I am not waiting until 4 to watch the Eagles kick the
I don't want to wait around till
it's flexed. Oh, no, it's not flexed. No. Wait a minute here. They play next week. They play Dallas.
Oh, they play Dallas next week. Yeah, then it's the Giants.
And that's
so
a
it's
4:25.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
They'll probably put the Giants game on at night just to torture you.
No, I'll tell you that the game that might get flexed would be that Lions-Vikings game.
That will be
Week 18. That's a great game, and it's going to mean something probably.
Could mean a ton for like 4 or 5 teams.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's Dallas next week, 4:25. And Dallas plays they play tonight against Tampa.
Yeah.
So and they're not mathematically eliminated.
Yeah.
Dallas. Yeah. For all intents and purposes, they are. They're 6-8.
Yeah, they stink.
They do stink.
So, all right, let's wrap it up there. We'll be back next week after Eagles. It's Cowboys week. Cowboy game, the whole thing.
Oh my!
Boom, 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 boom. Oh, the Cowboy Rats, the whole thing. All right, we're back next week. Join us then on a brand new Locked On podcast. Let me tell you about Locked On Eagles Postcast. You get that every day. So you make that your first listen. For your second listen, go find the new Locked On NFL with 2 shows every day. How about Tyler Rowland kicks off your morning with a double shot of NFL espresso, and then stop by the barbershop with Tony Wiggins for some real NFL talk. And you can find Locked On NFL on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. You can listen to us next week as well. Join us then on a brand new Locked On Eagles Postcast. Have a great week, everybody.